What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the matchup I have for you today, we have @Tornado or @Tornado. I'm just going to call them Tornado. Apologies if I mispronounce your name. Who is going to be on World of Prophecy Spellbook versus Ultra, who is going to be on Lightsworn Ruler. Hopefully this will be a good match, but the only way to know for sure is to actually check it out. So without further ado, let's get started. Here it looks like Tornado is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Spellbook Library of the Crescent, Spellbook of the Master, Spellbook of Secrets, Blue Boy, and Spellbook of Life. A very strong hand. And on the other side, we see Wolf, Revival Golem, Judgment Dragon, Rainbow Karibo, and Needlebug Nest, my apologies, and a little bit of a bricky hand. The Needle Nest will definitely have to do some heavy carrying in this game, but anyways, let's see. @Tornado will get a draw for turn, or will they? They forgot to draw for turn there. That is a huge problem. Their opponent probably should have reminded them if they were to, catch it, but it's not really the opponent's job necessarily to catch that, but that is something very important to note. I know a lot of people who are coming in from, newer Yu-Gi-Oh! Since there is no draw for turn, sometimes they forget that, or they think that H.A.T format is old enough to the point where you already weren't drawing for turn, but that is a bit of a problem there. And anyways, here it looks like they did go and activate the Crescent. I'm not entirely sure what they got there. I believe it was the tower, I want to say. But anyways, here going and normal summoning the Blue Boy. After that, searching a copy of Secrets, going for Secrets, kind of showing, making it seem like they didn't have it, so that Ultra doesn't really play around them having it as a follow-up. But regardless, from there, it looks like they are picking up that copy of Fate. And after that, going for Master, revealing the tower, copying Secrets, and getting a copy of Eternity. So they definitely have a solid setup. After that, going and activating the tower, setting the copy of Fate, and passing it over to Ultra, who unfortunately gets a copy of Judgment Dragon, so they really are going to have to do a lot of work with this copy of Needlebug Nest. And here it looks like just setting the copy of Revival Golem, which and honestly, it has a lot of defense, so it's not a bad play here at all. And then setting that copy of Needlebug Nest before going to end phase. And here Tornado chooses to hold the copy of Fate. There almost in some cases would have been a reason to try to go for this, either to use the effect to bounce a back row, or even maybe to banish the Revival Golem. In some cases, maybe even just to flip their Blue Boy face down so then they can cycle through it. But I guess if they're wanting to cycle one of these cards, that also makes sense. Though at the same time, if they use the tower to cycle one, now that Ultra knows that they won't be able to have a banish right away. So that is something to keep in mind there. But anyways, here it looks like in standby phase, using the copy of tower, putting back the copy of Master, drawing into a copy of Secrets, which they're going to fire right away, grabbing another copy of Blue Boy, at which point they are going to normal summon Blue Boy, use the effect, grab a copy of Master, and from here going and using the Master revealing Eternity to get a copy of Power. I guess that's another reason they might have wanted to go and actually use the copy of Fate earlier on, is because they already had searched the copy of Eternity, so they could have got back one of their banish resources as well. Though at the same time, I guess it's technically not too late to still use it to book their own copy of Blue Boy. But let's see what they choose to do here. Here, it looks like activating Power on one of the Blue Boys going to battle phase, attacking in with the Blue Boy, which obviously can't clear the Revival Golem, so taking some damage, and that is going to be very unfortunate for them, because even with the attack boost from Power, they won't be able to clear it, so now they kind of just lost a card there. Anyways, here it looks like main phase 2, going for the copy of Succubus. This card says, while you control another Ghost Ring monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. That's irrelevant. The part that is relevant is once per turn, detach one Xyz material from this card, target one face-up monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghost Ring monsters on the field, destroy it, and if you do, that monster zone can't be used as long as you control a Ghost Ring monster. So here, just using it because the Revival Golem only has 100 attack there, so going and popping that, and that is going to be destroyed. And then main phase, or wait, that was in main phase 2. So let me just quickly read this. I'm pretty sure this still works to go for the Downard in main phase 2. They hadn't swapped over to main phase 2 yet. It still showed battle phase, but it was assumed that it was there. This is just during your main phase 2, you can Xyz summon this card by using a rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control as material. Yeah, so they can still just go for the Succubus and then make the Downard in main phase 2. It doesn't change anything there. Nothing to worry about there. And then here they are just going to pass turn. Ultra draws into a copy of Lila, and they also chose to hold this Needlebug Nest a little long here. So let's see here, normal summoning the copy of Lila, and we are going to see the Fate activated on the summon of Lila, going and banishing the copy of Lila, and after that, we will see the Needlebug Nest activated to send 5 from the top of the deck, sending a copy of Lumina, Eclipse Wyvern, Foolish, Raiden, and JD. So at least solid being able to use the Eclipse Wyvern to banish a copy of the Light Ray Diabolos, but there are no ways to banish it at the moment. So here, back over to Tornado, who gets a copy of Justice, standby phase using Tower, putting back Fate, drawing into a copy of Fiendish Chain. So now having at least some other forms of disruption there. Normal summoning the copy of Justice, going battle phase, attacking in. That is going to be met with the Rainbow Karibo, which says when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster, equip this card from your hand to that monster. It cannot attack, so stopping the attack there, but the Justice will still be able to attack in. And I'm not sure what the blue boy's doing there. Oh, I guess they misclicked it for the detaching there. But anyways, going main phase 2, activating Secrets, going for Master. So playing it a little differently here than using the Master, revealing Eternity to copy the Secrets to get the copy of Fate. And after that, going to end phase, using the copy of Justice, banishing itself. Or maybe not misclicking, so maybe they're a little newer to the deck, or maybe a little bit of nerves, or maybe just new to Dueling Book. So there is a bit of misclicking and stuff like that. Guys, don't hate on them or anything in the comment section. It happens. But anyways, here actually still in main phase 2, going and setting the copy of Fiendish Chain as well as the copy of Fate, and then in end phase going and using Justice to get a copy of High Priestess as well as a copy of Power. So they are on 2 copies of Power, which is becoming a little more standard lately. Here, Ultra is going to get a copy of Solar Recharge, which is good since they have that dead wolf in hand, getting rid of the wolf and drawing into Card Trooper and Rainbow Karibo, and then sending a copy of Soul Charge and the copy of Garoth. And so now how many names? They have 1, 2, 3, 4 names. So that is going to be a little scary given they have double JD in hand. And here we are going to see the first JD come down, and Tornado is going to use the Fate here, and they're going to go for 3, so banishing it rather than trying to book it or anything like that. After that, Card Trooper is going to be summoned using the effect, sending 3, hitting a copy of Minerva there, which will be able to send an extra card, going and sending a copy of Breakthrough Skill. After that, we will see the second copy of JD come down, going to battle phase and attacking in, but that is going to be met with the copy of Fiendish Chain. And let's see, after that, just going to end phase. And let me just double check Downard one more time. This card, when does it lose its materials? Let me see if this card attacks a defense position monster, if this card battles after damage. Okay, so because the attack was stopped from the Rainbow Karibo before, that's why it didn't lose the material. But anyways, here back over to Tornado, who gets a copy of Wisdom. The copy of Tower is going to put back Fate in the standby phase, drawing into a copy of High Priestess, and now revealing 3 to summon the High Priestess. And will we see the other one come down? They are going to go for both, and Ultra knows they can't really do anything. Their hand wasn't that great that game. I'm actually surprised they stayed in it for that long. Was very impressive. So now moving on into game number 2, Ultra will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Warning, High Priestess, Crescent, Master, and Max C. And on the other side, we see Card Trooper, Solar Recharge, Needlebug Nest, Eclipse Wyvern, and Minerva. So definitely a much stronger hand for this second game here. So here, Ultra will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Blaster, which is a great draw. So now, if they can get the Wyvern into grave, they will have access to being able to banish it. Starting their turn, though, with the Solar Recharge, discarding Minerva, drawing into another Solar Recharge and a copy of Soul Charge. A little unfortunate that they don't have another Lightsworn name in hand at the moment, but here they will be able to send a copy of the Light Ray, as well as a copy of Raiden. And then from there, the Minerva will send one more, sending a copy of Decree. After that, let's see what they choose to do. Probably like a Card Trooper Soul Charge play, depending, but no, instead going for the Soul Charge first, going for Minerva and the Raiden. And from here, Raiden can use its effect, sending the top two, sending a copy of Solar Recharge and a copy of Lance. Oh, so yeah, no, I guess that's hard to say, because if they wanted to just go for a very big mill play, it may have been better to go for the Card Trooper and hope to mill more stuff. At that rate, we saw 2 milled, so I guess they didn't really hit anything off of it, so they would have had to see what the next card was, and that would have been what they hit off the Trooper. But instead, I guess wanting to get the Wyvern into graveyard as quickly as possible also sort of makes sense. So going and normal summoning that Wyvern and then overlaying into a copy of Lavalval Chain, at which point they can now use the Lavalval Chain, send the copy of Wyvern, and it looks like they're actually going to be stacking a copy of Lila. So just trying to make sure that that Solar Recharge is live is also a very interesting play, which means they're probably going to hold the Needlebug Nest until their turn, the same way they did the last time. But anyways, here it looks like, are they just not using the Wyvern here either? They definitely should have banished off the Wyvern, but anyways, let's see what happens here in the end phase. The Minerva will mill 2, hitting a copy of Lila and Rainbow Karibo. And okay, so their opponent did catch it here, so that is very good. So now it looks like they are just going to put 2 back, and they are going to ban it, or did they mill? And then what just happened there? Let's see what they did. So they went and used, let me check what this is saying here. Shouldn't be mandatory. Oh, right. So after chain resolves, so they said no reason to stack there. Yeah, exactly. So I guess instead of stacking the Lila, what they're choosing to do is use the Lavalval Chain, send the copy of Redox, then the Eclipse Wyvern is going to banish a copy of JD, and then they're going to go to end phase where the Minerva will mill 2, hitting a JD and Needlebug Nest. So a little scuff there, but again, nothing else they could really do there. So here over to @Tornado, who is going to draw into a copy of World of Prophecy, which is a little unfortunate for them here, going and activating Crescent. And they're going to reveal Secrets, Tower, and Fate, and get a copy of Tower, which was honestly probably like the worst one they could get there, unfortunately. So here, just setting warning, passing over to Ultra, but in end phase, we are going to see that copy of Needlebug Nest, hitting a copy of Wolf, Garoth, Raiden, DD Crow, and Soul Charge. Here, the Wolf will be able to summon itself before getting a draw for turn, getting a copy of Rainbow Karibo. And from here, it looks like we are going to see a Synchro Summon 7, going for a copy of Michael. And it looks like Max C. Okay, so they're going to call him out on the, they're trying to say lag, but it looks like they're going to drop Max C after the summon of Michael. Or maybe they're going to do it before and they're allowing it. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like they're allowing it given they did draw. So drawing that copy of High Priestess, and here using Michael to go and pay 1,000, banish the copy of Solemn Warning. And yeah, so it looks like they weren't going to warning this anyways. And then here we will see the Blaster activate, banishing the Eclipse Wyvern. And at that point, Tornado was kind of messed up there regardless, because Ultra just had all the gas possible. So they were definitely going to win that. So now moving on into a game number 3, we will get to see Tornado start this one out. Opening hands, we see Rivalry, Defissure, Secrets, Wisdom, and a copy of High Priestess, a very strong hand. And on the other side, we see MST, Rainbow Karibo, Soul Charge, Card Trooper, and another Rainbow Karibo. So an all right hand, maybe, but, having, I guess, MST against the Rivalry could be good, but at the same time, they're going to have to deal with the Fissure still, so maybe the MST is good against that. And Tornado just has a solid opener, seeing Secrets in general, and getting a draw for turn here, getting a copy of Fate. So now even the High Priestess would be live right away. So here, let's see, going and using the Secrets for a copy of Blue Boy. After that, normal summoning Blue Boy, using the effect, grabbing a copy of Master, and then Master is going to reveal the copy of Wisdom, copying secrets, getting a copy of Tower. After that, they are going to go for the early High Priestess and revealing 3, summoning that out before setting 3 and activating the Dimensional Fissure. Here, Ultra gets a copy of Foolish. And yeah, so the MST is going to meet that copy of Dimensional Fissure. Card Trooper is then going to be summoned using the effect and sending 3 for cost, going for Needlebug Nest, Soul Charge, and Redox. And after that, let's see what they choose to go for. Going for Battle Phase, just trying to run over the blue boy, do some damage before passing turn. So holding the copy of Foolish for, you know, a later point. Hopefully, like, I guess there may have been a reason to try to extend a little, but into so much back row when you already know your opponent has Fate, you probably didn't have a great Soul Charge play coming for you anyways. So here, Tornado is going to get a copy of Max C for turn, use the Tower in standby phase, putting back the Master, drawing into a copy of Life, going to battle phase, running over the Card Trooper. Card Trooper will draw Ultra a card, getting a copy of Needlebug Nest before passing turn. Here, Ultra is going to draw for turn, getting a copy of Solar Recharge, which again, unfortunately, they aren't able to use here. So it looks like they're just going to set 2 back over to Tornado, who gets a copy of Torrential for turn. In standby phase, it looks like Tower is going to be used, putting back secrets, drawing into that copy of World. So unfortunately, World is just not resolving this game. Going to battle phase, attacking in, but that is going to be met with the Rainbow Karibo. So in main phase 2, we see the Torrential set and back over to Ultra, who now gets a copy of Wolf. So that's at least something. So now they can use the recharge, getting rid of Wolf, drawing into Lumina and Groth, sending a Honest. And I believe that was another copy of recharge there, which it was. So after that, let's see what they choose to do. Going Needlebug Nest, sending a copy of Recharge, Eclipse Wyvern, Lila, Diabolos, and MST. Here, the Wyvern will trigger, going and banishing a copy of Diabolos, so they are on multiple. It's always so interesting when you see different Lightsworn ruler builds, because some will go with things like the Rainbow Karibo, some will go with like 2 copies of Diabolos versus 1, some go with the Revival Golem, and like I think that's the reason that some of these Lightsworn ruler decks do feel a little bricky at times, is just because there's so much variance that you kind of have to play, because this deck sometimes can take a few turns to actually set up. But anyways, here it looks like they are going to go for the Lumina, and then here they say it's good using the effect, ditching the Garoth, and is the Maxi going to be chained to that? It looks like maybe this is why there was a little bit of lag, but no, it looks like they actually are going to allow everything going and torrentialing their whole board, which they are choosing not to use the Fate either, because they could have used the Fate on the copy of High Priestess to make it unaffected by trap, so it would stay even though the torrential happened, though I guess maybe they're trying to, you know, stop this Rainbow Karibo, and since they have Life, I guess that seems like what they're doing, which I guess isn't bad here. Going for Foolish, sending a copy of Eclipse Wyvern. Eclipse Wyvern is going to trigger, banishing a copy of JD. Then here the Redox is going to trigger, banishing both Eclipse Wyverns to summon itself. And then from here, double JD and Diabolos are going to get added to hand. And Maxi is going to be activated now, which I guess here they're saying they forgot. They definitely should have done that earlier on the Lumina, for example, or even on the activation of the copy of Redox. But anyways, let's see what happens here. JD is going to be special summon. Maxi is drawn off the Maxi. Here, JD is going to use its effect, and they're allowing everything to happen here. Now, I guess, well, the Fate needs a spellcaster on board, so they weren't able to do that. So I guess that kind of goes back to why you almost should have used the Fate to keep the High Priestess around. But here, JD is going to clear, going to end phase, and we are going to see that mill 4. Oh, wait, they forgot to go to battle phase, so they actually are taking back their play as well, which I guess, you know, they both did, so going back with it here, attacking in with JD, and then in end phase milling 4, sending Card Trooper, Lila, Minerva, and Raiden, and then the Minerva sends 1 extra, sending a copy of Raiden there, and then here Tornado gets a copy of Temperance, and I guess the other thing to note is, did they just not have enough, or I guess they didn't have any spell books to actually go and use the Tower there either, I believe at that point. But anyways, drawing into a copy of Temperance, and here it looks like Ultra is just going to scoop it up there, and it looks like they have another match that actually takes place here. even though that was the full match. So I guess they are going to go for another. So I guess why not double feature, and let's see what happens. So moving on into the match number 2, don't get to see these double features that often. It looks like Tornado does win the rock, paper, scissors on that one, and we'll get to start out. Opening hands, we see Spellbook Tower, World of Prophecy just stuck to the hand, not resolving. Very unfortunate. Max C, Fate, and Eternity. And on the other side, we see Lumina, Wolf, Lightray Diabolos, Card Trooper, and Foolish Burial. And here Tornado will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Blue Boy, which is like perfect for what they have. They definitely needed a starter, and that is the best one. Using the effect, grabbing a copy of Crescent. From here, going for Crescent, revealing Secrets, Master, and Tower. I feel like it almost would have been better just to grab the Secrets when you want to make sure you can start going off, because imagine you got Tower there and you already have Tower. You're going to be at kind of a slow start when you at least had a little better access to starting to go off. Maybe again going Secrets into Master, trying to fill your graveyard a little faster in a way. But anyways, here getting the Secrets regardless, activating Secrets and grabbing that copy of Master. From here they can go and use the Master, revealing the Tower, to copy the Secrets and pick up a copy of Wisdom, at which point they're then going to activate the Tower, set 2, and pass it over to Ultra, who gets a copy of Aaron. From here they're going to normal summon the Card Trooper, use the effect, milling 3, only hitting a Lila there really before attacking in, and here running over the copy of Blue Boy, but we are finally going to see that Fate activating to, oh, they're going to go for 3 and banish the Card Trooper, which I guess makes sense since this would eventually get them a draw for turn, whereas if you had just flipped the copy of Blue Boy, you'd still have to deal with this, they'd still get the draw, so just kind of completely getting rid of it in general isn't the worst play here. Main phase 2, it looks like just passing turn, so again, playing it a little slower, holding the Foolish and stuff. Here, Tornado is going to get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Fiendish Chain. Standby phase, Tower is going to put back the copy of Fate, drawing into a copy of Temperance. Temperance is slammed down right away before Eternity is activated and grabbing back that copy of Secrets. And from here, Secrets is going to activate, getting the copy of Fate, though I guess it's all right since they do have ways to flip. I don't know what's going on with my thing right there. But anyways, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to say given they don't have that many spellbooks in hand or anything to keep making plays happen, but now they can go for the Temperance summoning out that copy of High Priestess, so just trying to apply a lot of pressure right away, and now they do have the Fate and the copy of Fiendish if need be, plus Max C, so they're definitely in an alright position. Here it looks like Ultra gets a copy of Redox for turn, and they're going to start by normal summoning the copy of Lumina, using Foolish to send a copy of Raiden. Now Lumina is going to activate, discarding the Wolf. Will we see the Maxi? No, we're going to see the Fiendish Chain activated instead, and from there, Ultra is just going to scoop it up right away. So moving on into game number 2 of match number 2, Ultra will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Maxi, Warning, Blue Boy, Power, and Dimensional Fissure, very strong hand. And on the other side, we see Raiden, Eclipse Wyvern, Redox, Soul Charge, and MST, drawing into a copy of JD. So at least having Raiden isn't bad. Normal summoning the Raiden, using the effect, hitting a Card Trooper and a copy of Lumina. So now I would definitely suspect a Soul Charge play, which is going to happen, but that is going to be met with Max C. But either way, I don't think you really care, because you could just end it at this and have your mills that are going to go off, which isn't bad at all. Going for both, and here Tornado is going to get a copy of High Priestess. After that, Card Trooper is going to activate, sending 3, sending the Lightray, Lila, and Raiden. And then from there, choosing to just set the MST, and just like I said, going to end phase to mill. Here, Raiden mills a DD Crow and a Solar Recharge, and then Lumina is going to mill a Foolish, a Minerva, and a Charge of the Light Brigade, and then Minerva mills, hitting a copy of Wolf, which is mandatory to special, and Tornado will get a draw off of that, getting a copy of Book of Moon, drawing for turn, getting a copy of Master. And from here, we're going to see Blue Boy normal summoned, grabbing a copy of Crescent, which they have no spellbook spells engraved, so that's actually perfect. Going and revealing Secrets, Fate, and the Tower. Going and getting a copy of Secrets, going for Secrets, grabbing the copy of Tower. After that, they do have the Master already, so Master, reveal Tower, copy the Secrets, and get that copy of Fate. So they are all set up right now. going and activating or revealing 3, I guess. So they are going for the copy of High Priestess there. It kind of looked like they were just activating it. But then here going and activating power on the blue boy. So going to battle phase, Priestess is going to run over the copy of Raiden. Blue boy is going to clear the copy of Lumina, and then power will trigger to get them a copy of Eternity there. And then in main phase 2, going for the High Priestess, banishing the copy of Secrets to pop the Wolf. It was a little risky going into battle phase and attacking into the copy of Raiden before choosing to say use this effect, simply because, I mean, I guess they were hoping to make sure that the power would resolve to get them another search, but at the same time, had this run into, say, the copy of Raiden and Ultra had a copy of Honest, that could have been very bad for them there. But anyways, here it looks like activating the copy of Fissure and then activating the tower, setting 3 back row before going to end phase. And here Ultra does have the MST for the Fissure yet again, and back over to Ultra, who now gets a copy of Forbidden Lance for turn. From here, let's see what they choose to do. The Card Trooper still is live, so they are going to activate it, hitting a Lumina, a Wolf, and a Solar Recharge. Wolf will then attempt to special summon itself out, which will resolve. After that, we will see the normal summon of Eclipse Wyvern, and then overlaying into a copy of 101, which is going to be met with warning, but now the Wyvern can still activate, going and banishing a copy of the Light Ray. The JD will then be special summoned. They have enough names, I'm pretty sure, for sure. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, all in the same spot there. So the JD can come down, and, you know, a Tornado does have Book of Moon and Fate, so they really do just have very good options for this here. Going and using the Fate banishing 3 to go and try to banish the copy of JD. Keep in mind that this does not target, so Ultra would have had to go and use this Lance beforehand, but they are going to go and actually Lance the copy of JD, but then Book of Moon is going to be chained to that, so JD will get set face down, and hopefully they do catch that Fate does need to be doesn't target there, but I guess they're going to get rid of it regardless. But at that rate, it wasn't as much of a threat, so realistically, they probably should have banished, say, the Card Trooper there, and then on their crackback turn or whatever, they could have used the High Priestess to pop the copy of JD, but let's see what they choose to do. They do have the Redox, which they can go and banish the Eclipse Wyvern and the copy of Diabolos, and then from there, the Wyvern will add back the other copy of Diabolos, which can be special summoned because they have, I'm pretty sure, enough different names here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so exactly enough. And then from there, switching the Card Trooper to attack, going to battle phase, running over the High Priestess, running over the Blue Boy, and then attacking in with the Redox, main phase 2, overlaying into DracoSack, detaching a material, and summoning 2 tokens, at which point now they are going to use the DracoSack, getting rid of one of the tokens to pop the tower, and they do have a couple Spellbook spells engrave if they wanted to trigger it potentially, and let's see, they are going to go for the Blue Boy, drawing for turn, getting a copy of Wisdom, and at this point they are going to go and use Eternity to grab back the Secrets to get a copy of Blue Boy, and now they're going to normal summon Blue Boy, use the effect, and a little misclick there, going for a copy of Life, so that is a great card to kind of turn all this around, using Life, revealing Wisdom, banishing a copy of Blue Boy, summoning the copy of High Priestess, overlaying into a Succubus, using Succubus to pop the token, at which point they can then go and use the High Priestess, banishing the Eternity, popping the DracoSack, going, and they actually can't do that. This has to be during the main phase 2 there. So hopefully they do catch that, because that could be an important play here, going to battle phase and attacking in and then attacking in here, and the Card Trooper will get Ultra a draw, getting a copy of Blaster, and so yeah, they technically should have a little more life points here. We'll see if it actually ends up mattering. Again, a handful of misplays in this game from kind of both players in a sense, but let's actually see what happens. Setting that copy of Wisdom here, you can only summon Downer to main phase 2. Oh, cool. So they actually do end up catching it. Very nice. So they're going to kind of replay that a little bit. Summoning back the Succubus, they are rewinding just a little bit there. And from here, yeah, drawing the Blaster, and Okay, just passing. So regardless, I guess they were still doing the same play. They're just adding back the life. So whatever the difference from the Downard and then the Succubus would have been, here Ultra gets a copy of Aaron. And let's see how much this is going to matter. Going in special summoning the copy of Blaster by banishing 2, going to battle phase, running over the High Priestess. And let me see the graveyard real quick. Because I guess, yeah, they had Card Trooper if they wanted to go for the Redox, but then they didn't have any other dragons or way, so just going for the Blaster because it's bigger, that definitely makes sense. Here, the life should go to Graveyard, yep, and then back over to Tornado, who's going to get a copy of Secrets. Secrets can go and get a copy of Tower, so just trying to get the double draws back live. Going to end phase, the copy of Blaster will bounce back to hand. Here, Ultra gets a copy of Needlebug Nest, so they are just going to normal summon the Aaron, set the Needlebug Nest, so just trying to get more mills here. And then from there, the Aaron is going to mill 3, hitting a Lumina, Garoth, and Judgment Dragon. And back over to Tornado, who gets a copy of Max C. Standby phase, Tower is going to put back the copy of Fate, draw a copy of Torrential, go to battle phase. Downard is going to walk over the Monk there. And then from there, main phase 2, setting a copy of Torrential. Also, this Downard should be detaching a material. So here they're going to detach the Succubus. End phase, the Needlebug Nest to mill 5, hitting Needlebug Nest, Solar Recharge, JD, MST, and Needlebug Nest, drawing a copy of Soul Charge for turn. And now they do, I'm pretty sure they have enough life to go for the Blaster again. So they are going to go for the Blaster, but that is going to be met with Max C, so banishing double JD to summon Blaster. And then here a High Priestess is drawn, battle phase, Blaster over the copy of Downard, and then setting that copy of Soul Charge, maybe as a Bluff Lance or something. Here, Tornado is going to get a copy of a Rivalry for turn. Standby phase, the Tower is going to put back Secrets, drawing into a copy of Temperance. Temperance is going to summon, activate the Wisdom, and that is going to be enough for Tornado to take it. Obviously, this would be able to tag out into, say, a copy of High Priestess, given they still have 1, 2, as long as they have one, yeah, they should probably have 3, unless they've sided one out, which I'm not entirely sure if they would have. I highly doubt it, just because that is kind of the boss monster. And if not, we do know that they are also on the World of Prophecy, which would have been kind of a cool play to see. But either way, double feature, both players got to take a match down. It was kind of a long match. I know there was a handful of things going on, and, you know, this is kind of how testing and stuff sometimes goes. So hopefully, you know, be nice to both these players in the comments and stuff. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends. And don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.